Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Catherine from SEB Housing. And tonight I'm going to run the lottery for the 8 affordable condominiums at Larkwood and Raynham. So I'll get the lottery underway in just a few minutes. Just a reminder again, this session is being recorded. It will be posted to SEB Housing's YouTube channel later on tonight for any applicants who are not able to view it, who want to do so. If you have any questions during the presentation in the lottery, you can either type your questions into the Zoom function here, the chat function, if you are not on your phone, and you can also just unmute yourself if you have a question. So first, I just want to give you some background information on who applied. There was a total of 24 households in this lottery. That was 24 applicants who were approved for the lottery. These are all 3-bedroom condos. So type 3 households have priority on the waiting list for these units. There are 14 type 3 households. There are 5 type 2 households, and there are 5 type 1 households. That is the order of priority on the waiting list, which you will see when the waiting lists are sent over to you after tonight's drawing. So all households should already have their lottery application number. So that was the number that was sent to you when you were approved for this lottery by email, and it begins with A dot. So your number in this case is between A.001 and A.024. If you don't have it, let me know. If you forgot it or if you misplaced it, I can look that up for you. So I won't be calling out anyone's name during the drawing. That's to protect everyone's privacy. And so you'll want to know which lottery application number is yours. All of this information in terms of how many applicants we have and next steps and all of that will be provided to you in a follow-up email after tonight. So back when you completed your lottery application, you indicated and SEB Housing confirmed whether or not your household is a type 1, type 2, or type 3 household. And again, just keep in mind that larger type 3 households have priority for these 3-bedroom units. And that's just because the affordable housing program is designed so that the households, smaller households, do not have priority for units with more bedrooms than they might actually need. So because after the drawing tonight, I will still need to sort the results of the order of the waiting list. And what I mean by that is I'm going to pull 24 numbers, all of the lottery application numbers, out of a box that I have next to me right now. And they're just being pulled, all 24 of them. There is no order to them yet in terms of if the first person who's drawn is a type 1 household, a type 2 household, or a type 3 household. So I will be doing that tonight. So you should get an email from me by tomorrow morning at the latest, but hopefully tonight with the waiting list attached. So at that point, you'll have a better understanding of where you fall on the waiting list and all of that. During the drawing tonight, you're not going to know a whole lot. You'll hear your number called, but you're not going to know if you are in the first position, the last position, because we need to sort those results by the household type. So I'm going to be using index cards when I do the drawing. They're right here. So there's 24 cards here. They will go into the lottery box that I have here. It's just a basic box that I will pull from. And while I'm doing that, I'm drawing the cards and I'm going to hold them up to the screen so you're able to see the card. I'm going to take a moment to write down and record the number, and then I'll move on to the next one. Following the lottery, that email is going to be sent with next steps, summary of the process, and the sorted waiting list will be there. You'll notice that all 24 of the households on the waiting list are highlighted in green. And that's because in this case, all households will be moving forward in this process pretty much right away. So it's typical for SEB Housing to invite about 3 or 4 times as many applicants as there are available homes. And in this case, since there's 8 homes, we're going to call everyone forward to move on to the next step in the process, which is to submit your income, asset, and tax documentation, because as of right now, you've only self-reported your income on your lottery application. But also keep in mind that since there are more applicants than there are available units, because there's 24 applicants and 8 units, it's possible that you'll submit all of your income information, be approved for the affordable housing program, but then ultimately not be able to, or not have the opportunity to move forward in the process to purchase one of the condos. That being said, it is unlikely in our experience that the top 8 households are going to purchase the units. Usually there's some people who decide that they're no longer interested, or maybe there's a few people who are denied after we look at their finances. So if you're not in the top 8 on the waiting list, there is still quite a good chance that you'll be moving forward in the process. And again, everyone will be moving forward after tonight to submit their income information to us. But there's still a few more steps in the process. And then just a final note before the drawing, everyone needs to maintain eligibility for the affordable housing program up until closing on the condo. So remember to continue to hold on to your updated income information, so pay stubs, bank statements, that sort of thing. A lot of you may be able to access that online, obviously. And that's because we'll be asking for updated income information later on in the process when we're doing your second review, which occurs about a month before closing on the property, right around the time that you'd be getting your mortgage commitment further along in the process. So the purpose of that second and final review by SEB Housing is to confirm that your household is still eligible for the affordable housing program. So if you've had income changes or income increases that may have been drastic enough to prohibit your household from being eligible for the affordable housing program any longer, that could come into play. And again, just a reminder for every household, SEB Housing will still be involved through this process through closing, but following the lottery and the establishment of the waiting list, you're also going to be put in touch with the sales team over at Larkwood. So you'll be able to schedule a tour, reserve a unit if you have been approved by SEB Housing, and eventually sign a purchase and sale agreement and work towards closing. All right, so I will move on to the drawing now. If anyone has any questions before I do that, please let me know. I'm going to pull my spreadsheet up so I can record the results as I pull them as well. All right, I'll get on with the drawing. So these are the 24 cards. I'm going to put them into the box here. They've already been shuffled. They're not in order of 1 through 24, so for obvious reasons. I'm going to put the top on it here, shake it up a little more. I don't want to, I know it's hard to see all of it, but I'll be putting my hand in there and pulling out one number now. That will be the first number, and I'll just take a second to record it after I show you what I've pulled. 008. That's the first number here. Second number, box. 14. 13. 11. 24. 15. 19. 2. 17. Put up a little bit more. Number 1. $16. 23. Number 21. 20. 12. 10. Number 18. 9. 5 more here. Number 7. 4. Number 22. Number 5. Number 3. And then finally, the 24th number here is number 6. Got a question come in here. Yep, so if anyone doesn't have their lottery application number, it should have been sent to you by email by my colleagues, the ones who you were talking with about your application. And that would have come to you in the email that said you've been found eligible for the lottery. It would be in the form of a series of numbers. So for example, A.008. If you weren't sent that email, you hopefully were not qualified for this lottery. If you should have had a lottery application number though, because you did receive a email or correspondence from us saying that you were approved, please email us at info@sdbhousing.com and we'll make sure to get the information to you that you need. But again, if you were approved to be a part of this lottery, you should have received a lottery application number from SDB Housing, and it would have come from info@sdbhousing.com, that email. Does anyone have any other questions? Oh, sorry.
Yes, a question. So how you was explaining it, type 1, 2, and 3. So there was like 14 applicants for 3, well, so on and so on. So do type 3, the 14 applicant have precedence over the type 2 and type 1 first?
Correct. So it would be type 3, then to all type 2 households, and then type 1 households.
Okay.
When I sort the results tonight, the waiting list will show the actual order of priority.
Okay. So how do you determine the ones that like a type 3? How do you determine that?
So it was I'll share my screen in just a second so you can see the information packet had a breakdown of, different household types in terms of what you might be eligible for based on how many people are in your household and all of that. So if I pull up, I'll show you just to give you some background on that. So in our information packet for Larkwood, page 9 has the best explanation of it. So I'll share my screen real quick.
Page 9.
So down
I'm sorry,
here,
I had eye surgery. This morning,
okay.
so it's only one eye.
No, that's all right. So type 3 households, it says those would be any household who has 6 people 5 people, 4 people, and then if you're a 3-person household with 1 head of household plus 2 members, which usually means minors, a 3-person household with 2 head of households who require separate bedrooms, a 2-person household with a medical need for 3 bedrooms, and then a type 2 household. So this is type 2 household would mean a 3-person household, so 2 heads of household plus 1 member. So that might be, a couple with 1 child, or a 1-person household who has a disability that needs 2 bedrooms. Those would be type 2 households. And then type 1 households would be any 1-person household, or say a married couple. That would be considered a 1-person house, a type 1 household.
Okay.
And so if I go down to the waiting list, so this is how the waiting list is going to be ordered, like I said. So the top priority is type 3 households, followed by type 2 households and type 1 households.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I think I understand a little more. So people who may need 6 people, regardless of how many minors and adults, the 6 will have presidents, and then 5, and then the 4, and then after that, okay.
Well,
All
so
right.
5 and 4 households with 5 and 4, 4, 5, or 6 household members actually have the same priority. So within each tier, like if you're a type 3 household, you're a type 3 household. It doesn't matter if you have 5 people in your household or 6 people in your household. As long as you're a type 3 household, you're going to have that priority.
Okay.
So that's why it's broken down like it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have another question here. So does the number of which we were pulled even matter in the ranking? Yes. So if the first person pulled is a type 3 household, that person is going to be number 1 on the waiting list. If the person who was pulled 5th is the first type 3 household on the waiting list, they're going to be the first person on the waiting list because they're type 3, and they're also the type 3 household with the most favorable position from the lottery drawing. So yes, it basically gives you a position within your household type.
Okay, I think I understand. Okay, so all right, I think I kind of understand that. So that first person, 008, if that person has a qualified for that 3-bedroom, that type 3, they're going to be number 1.
They'll be
Type
number
3.
1 on the waiting list.
Then they'll choose. Okay.
And if they're not a type 3 household, then they're going to be further down the waiting list after all of the type 3 households.
Oh, okay. So number 2 could become number 1.
Correct. Yeah, that's why it's confusing, just the way that we have to do the lottery publicly, but like there's a lot of usually there's a lot of sorting that needs to happen afterwards.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I understand. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
So like I said, I plan to sort the results after this call. You will get an email from me hopefully tonight, if not tomorrow morning at the latest, with the waiting list. And I'm confident I'll be able to get that to you tonight because it's only the 3 or the 26 households. So there's a question here. I heard there's going to be another lottery for 2 bedrooms soon. Is that true? This is only the first lottery for Larkwood, so there are going to be additional lotteries for these condos. I don't know when they're going to be yet. They're not going to be anytime, within the next month or 2. We have a 3-month requirement for marketing, and those units are not ready yet. But yes, there will be subsequent lotteries. If you are, if the units are sold before you're reached on the waiting list, before you have the opportunity to purchase one of these homes, you can absolutely apply for the subsequent lotteries for Larkwood if you are interested at that time.
Okay, so where it says the documents, so if we wanted to, like, because we don't know, if to get all our documents, that attachment that was to the emails that sent, that will let us know all the documentation that we should be getting prepared and ready for.
Yeah, but it'll be sent to you again as well. So probably tomorrow, Monday at the latest, my colleague Abby, who is going to be working with all of you to get your completed application in and all the verifications, she's going to send an email to you that reminds you that you're moving forward in this property process, and she'll be inviting you to submit all of your income information to her. And if you don't have, if you don't have the documentation requirements guide handy, I'm assuming she will attach it again, and if not, you can also ask.
Okay, and I'm sorry, one more question. What is the time, like the general timeline they give us to get all that back to her or to you guys?
Yep, so she'll work with you. I mean, if you submit almost everything and you still have a couple things pending, she will give you a few more days to get the more information in. So you don't have to worry too much about that. The initial deadline, I believe, is 10 days.
Okay, okay. All right.
And I see a question here about if there's going to be any one bedrooms. I'm going through our information here. I do not know if any of the subsequent lotteries will have one bedroom condos. The information that I have is only on the 3 bedrooms in terms of the details. Let me just look one more place here. Yeah, I don't have that information yet. It's possible, but I do not know the bedroom sizes for the other lotteries just yet.
Okay. And although you don't have a timeline, so I know that they said, I think what is it, total of 35 affordable units, am I correct?
Well, so this lottery is only for 8 units.
No, yeah,
So,
but I'm saying the total thing, because there are going to be more lotteries broken down. I think they said
yeah.
we have so do we know, like, will all that be within a year, or it probably will be spill over?
I don't know that yet. Yeah, we don't have that information yet.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
there might be some delays. It is a total of 35 units. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And then I have a question here. So it says, I have another question in the chat. Can I see who was picked? I just got on. So everyone was chosen in the lottery. So every person every household who was found eligible for this lottery was picked in the lottery. You all have lottery application numbers. All of them were selected in this lottery, and all of you will be moving forward to the next step in the process, which is to submit all of your income information to SEB Housing. So you'll get an email from my colleague either tomorrow or Monday inviting you to send all that over. In terms of the lottery order, these are the numbers that were drawn. I know that I don't have a dot in front of these, but this is not the waiting list yet. This is just the lottery drawing itself. This was the order that the numbers were chosen, the 24 numbers representing the 24 applicants in this lottery. So I'm going to sort the results now so that the waiting list will be sent to you probably within the next couple hours. But I was saying at the latest tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So stay tuned for that. And that email will come from info@sebhousing.com with the attachment with the waiting list and other information. Any other questions before I let you go?
So the question I was asking, what was the order? That's what I missed.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't screen sharing anymore. I just had it up. Yeah, let me pull it up again and screen share for you. So this was the order. As you can see, there's no A in the front of some of these, but these are the lottery application numbers. So A.008 was pulled first. Number A.006 was pulled last. So I'm going to scroll down just so you can see the lottery order. You should see your lottery application number there. Just pretend there's an A.0 in front of the numbers. And all of these are going to be sorted onto a waiting list shortly. There's a question here. I can't pull this up while I'm screen sharing, so I'm going to stop screen sharing. There's a question that is directly sent to me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the answer to your question in terms of here. I'm going to do my best to look up your name. Yep, so I found you. I'm going to send you your application number now. And so the person who just direct messaged me with the application, the question on the application number, your application number was drawn third. So right at the top there. And any other questions?
Yes, if we're chosen to move forward, when do we get to go and view the units? Will it be after we provide all the documentation, or will we get to see it beforehand?
Yep, so it'll be after you're approved by SEB Housing. So when you receive the email over the next day or so, inviting you to submit all that information, if you get that into us within about 10 days, sometime soon after that, you'll be able to connect with the sales team over at Larkwood, and they'll be able to set up a tour for you.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much. I've done a couple of lotteries with you. You're always helpful and informative, and I appreciate you. I'm just hoping that one day it'll be our number.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yes,
Thank
good
you
luck.
so much.
And yep. Any other questions, let me know, or email us at info@sebhousing.com. You'll get that email from me soon, and you'll be able to write back if you have any questions. Like I said, everyone will be moving forward. All 24 applicants in this lottery are going to be asked to submit income and asset information to us. If you have any questions on information that's needed or next steps, you can always let us know. Another question here, was that number 13 an accepted number on the list? So everyone is moving forward to the next step in the process. It doesn't guarantee you a condo, but you will be asked to move forward and see if you qualify for the affordable housing program by submitting all of that income information into us. So, yeah.
Can I ask you, when did that email get sent with the A0.013 email so we can check maybe spam? Because I had a problem before.
Yeah, let me see if there's a date.
Oh.
No date on what I'm looking at, but I can look that up quickly for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm going to assume it came from our, oh, hold on. 1 second, I have to get a password for this account. 1 moment. So it looks like that was sent on December 16th.
Okay.
Yeah, at 10 in the morning.
10:10 in the morning? Okay,
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
December 16th. Thank you so much.
Yep, of course, no problem. Any other questions?
And if we can't, I'm so sorry, if we can't find that email, just email info@SEB Housing.
Yeah, that's where I just looked it up. I was in the info account. I can send it to you again, or if you have
That'd
another
be great.
email, you can email us that secondary email address too, and I can forward it over.
Yeah. Okay, if you could email it again, and then I'll send a secondary. Thank you so much.
Right. Yeah, no problem. So like I said, I'll be working on the sorting of the waiting list right now, and you should hear from us very soon. Again, all application numbers were called during this lottery, and everyone will have a placement on the waiting list. So stay tuned for that.
Hi, was 17 called?
Yep. So everyone who was approved for this lottery is called in the lottery. 17 was called 9th. So that's not your waiting list placement at this point, because I still need to sort the results of the waiting list by priority. So type 3 households have priority on this waiting list. So you'll hear from us within the next few hours about what your actual placement is on the waiting list. But everyone will be moving forward. That's the good news here. So there's 24 applicants and 8 condos, and everyone will be moving on to the next step, which is to provide your income and asset information. to SEB Housing.
Okay. What is your name again? I'm sorry.
Yep, Catherine.
Catherine. Okay. Thank you, Catherine. Happy New Year, and you have a good evening.
Yes, you
And
too.
yes, and Catherine, you said everyone moves on, you said?
Yep, everyone's moving on to the next step in the process, which is to submit all of the income information to us. But yeah, and we'll guide you through the process from there.
And so you're saying you're gonna email everybody in the morning?
So you'll get an email from info@scbhousing.com with the waiting list attached to it, the order of the waiting list, and some information on next steps. And then subsequently, you'll get an email from my colleague either tomorrow or Monday with an invitation to submit all of that income information to us.
Okay, so tomorrow or Monday we'll get an email.
You'll get an email from me tonight, and then you'll get another email requesting the information for the next steps in the process, which is the income and asset information.
Okay, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
I just have a question. So if everyone moves on to the next step, I thought only 8 people are chosen.
Yep, so there's everyone has a place on the waiting list, but there's only 8 there's only 8 condos. So what'll happen is if you're number 9, for example, and someone ahead of you on the waiting list, which is likely to happen, is either denied or chooses not to purchase one of the condos later on in this process, you'll have a chance to do so if you're approved. So in our experience, normally it's not the first 8 people on a waiting list who buy the home. It's usually,
But isn't the purpose of the lottery for the numbers to get drawn so you know if you're at the top of the 8?
Yep. So all of you are going to have the waiting list in hand later on tonight. So you'll see where you are in the waiting list. But everyone is going to be asked to move forward in the process because we usually invite 3 to 4 times as many households forward as we have units available.
All right. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. All right, if anybody has any other questions, you can either let us know or email us back at info@scbhousing.com. Thanks for joining and have a great night.
Good night.